These age open women to right to speak for themselves. And some badgers out there who are watching this video will probably have steam coming out of their noses once they hear the content of this video. Just a disclaimer guys, this video doesn't aim to bring down women from any race, but this is just me trying to express my own opinion and my personal observation. So today, let's talk about feminism and femininity here in the Philippines. So here's a question that has been constantly asked on the internet. Does femininity not coincide with feminism? Does being a feminist mean you have to listen your femininity? Women these days often fight for equal rights with men, and sometimes it gets confusing because what right do we not possess in this generation? Women can now work, can vote, and can literally do everything that men can do. So what's the issue here? This movement began with Western women who wanted power. Yes, you heard it right, because let's get straight to the point guys and not sugarcoat things. Despite having seemingly equal rights, and some women are really hell-bent on having things their way. And this is probably why some foreign men don't meet eye to eye with Western women. And with the rise of feminism comes the issue that women try to mimic what men do. As you can see, feminism is a big deal in Western countries like USA. And sometimes it becomes a little too much because people make a big deal out of the simplest things. It's unimaginable how simple gestures such as opening a door for you or complimenting you for how you look today could eventually be seen as a form of disrespect for some other Western women who stand for feminism. And yes, you have heard that right guys. Some women out there who receive these harmless gestures by men occasionally treat them as a form of disrespect towards them. Absurd, isn't it? With the active movement of Western females, they are seen to be less feminine since activism itself is viewed as masculine. And actually, there are tons of articles online saying that feminism somehow killed femininity because women these days prefer to build their bodies like how men do. Not just because they love working out, but rather because they want to prove that they're capable of what men can also do. Even thousands of literature have already proved that, biologically speaking, men are really physically stronger than women. The ongoing fiasco between modern feminism and Western men has existed for a while now. And it's not surprising to hear that some men are now distancing themselves from Western women out of fear being misunderstood and disrespected. Now, don't you wonder why foreign men loves going to Asian countries like the Philippines? Well, that's probably because most Filipinas are not fanatical about feminism. Filipinas are more inclined to be feminine. So how is it any different? You see, femininity focuses on the pause, be, create, nurture, receive, and allow energy. And this is something that most Filipino women embody, making them more feminine than Western women. And by textbook definition, femininity is defined as the quality or nature of the female sex. And this may refer to the qualities of behaviors, rules, and attributes of women. So given its definition, it's easy to say that Filipinas are feminine since we are natural healers and nurturers. But with a growing number of foreign men moving into the Philippines, some of you may think that they begin migrating here in the Philippines because Filipinas are easier to control, to manipulate, uneducated, or easy to play with compared to the Western women. Well, you know what? Try doing a bit more research before coming up to that conclusions because Filipino women are far from being easy. Just take a look at their culture because Filipinas really value courtship and getting to know their potential partners first before dating them. However, again, why is this the case? Well, this trend has something to do with femininity and dateability. Let's be real here though. Asian women like Filipinas do not look like someone who can break your bones. In fact, they have more petite and slender bodies, which is pretty often a standard for foreign men. But it's just a shame that this is still an ongoing preference for other races. But then again, at the end of the day, it's not just about your body. Filipino women are less likely to get tattoos, wear masculine clothing, or get piercing, dye their hair, or sleep with multiple men. But even if they do, they just keep it minimal. While women from the West are likely to do these not so feminine things, some say that Asian faces have a more feminine touch to them. You may even see it in Asian males. Western men also like women with tan skin, in which we Filipinas fit perfectly. Saying these things as standards by men isn't a big deal since the character of the person they marry or date and not just their faces. So here's another noteworthy point. Western men are not really attracted to Asian women like Filipinas just because of their femininity and hygiene, but because of the fact that they have a good quality traits that most men want in a woman. It's not really about having an Asian fetish, because if you are going to base it on this reason alone, that is just simply absurd. So here's the thing about Western women. Some of them tend to be authoritative. They love using the "I'm not just a woman" card and eventually look down on men. Although it is true that some Filipinas may do the same thing, but the general population would beg to disagree for that. Filipinas are feminine, and they proudly show that they are capable of doing great things as a woman without really showing any form of aggression towards men. They don't try to change their physical appearance nor try to act masculine. Women in the Philippines continuously show their capabilities while still maintaining their feminine nature, like being compassionate, intuitive, creative, and traditional. These qualities alone speaks of value as to why foreign men desire having a relationship with a Filipina woman. Besides that, they are also great homemakers. They would love and support their men through the ups and downs in life. They know how to cook, do the household chores, take care of the children, and this is one of the many reasons why foreign men decide to stay here in the Philippines to date or marry a traditional woman. Well, thanks to the strong value of our family values and cultural heritage here in the Philippines, men do not have to worry about their Filipina partner leaving them in the dark just because they want dominance in the relationship. If you will ask a Western man what is it like to date Asians like Filipinas, well, most of them would say that it is great. It's a great experience, not because they are submissive individuals, but rather because they know how to communicate. They don't deal with things aggressively. Oftentimes, Filipina may use the tempo to give fight to their emotions, but at the end of the day, they do their best to communicate their feelings. Filipino women are caring and loving. These traits simply run in their veins. They cannot see their partners suffering, so they try to do everything they can to help them. And you know what, honestly? Once they go into a relationship, they are in for good. And if there's a problem, they would try to work it out as long as they can. But this doesn't mean that they don't know how to quit or set boundaries. Oh girl, they really do. But they would give things another try. And if it doesn't work out, that's when they end things for good. And yes, we Filipinas, we do need a man who respects us and genuinely loves us. Unlike much in the West countries, Filipinas do not resort to divorce, which doesn't really exist in this country. And he serves as a guarantee to foreign men that they won't end up in another faulty relationship. The issue between feminism and femininity remains a debatable topic in the community. The problem with modern feminism these days is the way how women act harshly on men, thinking that dominance could be achieved by calling them nasty names or disrespect men. And honestly, this is the trigger for some foreign men to leave their countries. Places such as the Philippines become a sought-after country for these foreigners as they desire women who are feminine and reliable and traditional, while Filipinos want those who can provide and love them unconditionally. And hey, before leaving this topic behind, let's address first this question. Isn't it odd how some Western women try to make themselves a little bit more like men instead of maintaining their femininity? Because these days, feminism no longer sounds like a movement to gain equal rights, but to prove that women can beat men in every aspect. However, with them being more and more masculine, aren't they showing that they see men as a competitor instead of an equal? Unlike femininity, women embrace their biological characteristics and do not really cross words with men. Feminine Filipinas, we understand the differences between them and do not see it as a threat to their existence. Not all Filipinas are feminist, and not all of them are feminine either, just to be honest with you. However, before some of you, why Filipinas are not all feminists? This is probably because if you look at it in a logical and rational aspect, Gender equality has been resolved ages ago here in the Philippines. And as I've mentioned earlier, guys, women already have the right to vote, work, receive education, and even run in politics. So what else is there to prove and fight for? But how about you, everyone? What's your take on feminism and femininity in Western countries and the Philippines? So if you have any more questions or if you have any opinion, you can go ahead and comment down below. Thank you, everyone. See you to my next video.